in-depth or crazy about it. So we'll see what happens, though. Ban's gonna be first, though. We got AQ on defense, 2Faced on attack. And really, it's interesting to see, though, because like, I asked this in the the pregame or like before this in the break, was like, what is Aqualix's playstyle now? Like you said from, like Connor said, he's got some inside information that Gasher's saying that AQ is back, but what does it really mean?
Yeah, is it that AQ is back, like, we're back to the form we were at, or we're back in that we're just not dead anymore? Really need to, this game's gonna provide some elaboration to that GIF that was apparently sent, like, seems like some sort of ransom note, the way Connor set that up, but we'll just have to see. But to start things out, it's actually 2 hard-breaching bans, a Hibana and a Maverick taken down. Does leave Thatcher on the board, so when you go for Plat Wall or go for Church Wall, it'll be a little bit easier with those EMPs in play.
Yeah, and I'm expecting to probably see Kaid banned, or well, Valkyrie banned, of course, per usual. Valkyrie is a very strong operator in most maps, and no matter what, you don't want that much intel in the hands of the defense. So Kaid would maybe that last one up, or maybe Mirror instead, depending on what they're seeing. Mirror actually banned, so Kaid's available, Thatcher's available, so that that makes it. It's kind of I guess that's the counter reason why you wouldn't ban Kaid, because Thatcher's available. Yeah, but really, now it makes it. It's gonna be interesting. Is there maybe a ban trick? Maybe ban trick might happen.
Well, maybe actually. I'm not sure. Bandit is a bit more of a medium encounter, but Kaid is also just so good.
Yeah, even if with Thatcher on the board, if you could play it correctly, you could try the Kaid trick. You could try to.
I mean, Hibana's banned. Like, that's really the only hard reaching up that you can like consistently Kaid trick. For a Thermite, you have to be so like blessed on the timing in order to get a Electroclaw trick to work. But either way, for Aqualix, I mean, again, if we're talking about a team that's going through a lot of troubles, Bandit tricking could be a bit more immediate counter to a Thatcher. We could see some Bandit tricking coming out, but at the same time, do you really want to throw something new into the loop when you're already just trying to get your core fundamentals intact based on this new team?
Are you sure?
There are trade-offs to both sides. But,
hey,
Benny, it's Basement. We're starting out. I haven't casted new Clubhouse yet, so I'm excited a little bit.
I haven't either, actually. I don't think we've casted Clubhouse since last stage, so yeah, we haven't done this in a while.
Well, I mean, yeah, because this is our second time casting since last stage.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you casted in the off season. I don't know.
Did I actually? I mean,
that's a question. Did you?
I didn't. I actually had a nice little bit of time off between the 2 stages. I say time off. University started basically immediately after, so I didn't really have time off. But
well, you get time off from casting, so did I guess. I was just working.
Yeah, but so, like if I'm gonna choose what I want to have time off from, I'd rather have time off from university than time off from casting. You know.
Very true.
Listen,
true. Well,
all right, this is new. All
right, we're back in the 90s, guys. This is Siege from the 90s.
Is this what actually... Is this the live-action Cowboy Bebop intro? Is this something different?
Dude, this is what Investigation Files usually plays in there.
Where's John Show? All right,
but anyway, first start is going to be dealing with this top floor presence, if there's any, and there's no top floor presence from the side of Aqualix.
I didn't get the IF joke until just now.
Oh my god. Did you really not get that until now?
It was a delayed reaction.
Oh, unfortunate. I thought you were laughing at your own joke for a second there.
No, I'm sorry. Keep going. I interrupted.
Anyway, so thing is, like, Aqualix still is they're still figuring things out, so not a totally aggressive play from them. They're going to be playing mostly to the chest, still playing towards that, probably some kind of strat at least. And I'm going to see how well the Kaid works here, because the Electroclaws are nice, but with a Thatcher on the board, they can get neutralized pretty easily.
Aether is keeping one in his pocket right now, so we might very well see an Electroclaw trick come out. If it's going to be anything, I imagine those 2 Soma charges will be used on one of the hatches. Of course, you can't use Ace to get 2 hatches. You can only use Soma charges for 1, as it requires 2 Soma charges to open 1 up. So Silent will have to use one of his exothermics to open it up. That's exactly what he'll do to open up that Moto hatch. Aether will let his C4 loose. While I say that, he's actually going to hold back for just a little bit, puts it on the floor, going to wait to see if he can see anybody step over that hole or get a sound cue that they're stepping over that area. And, well, unfortunately, he does get the sound cue, but he blows it up a little bit too late. Unfortunate for Aether, and right now, 2Faced are relatively unimpeded on their attack. There's not much offsite presence from Aqualix. They're all on the site, which will make it a bit more difficult once 2Faced tries to transition into their execute.
Also, not very often do I see someone playing main stairs with
the shield, is a new one.
I don't. He has an ADS too, so he can stay here for a little bit, but only one ADS. Actually, one magnet, one ADS. He's playing Omai, so actually he's gonna play aggressive. The grenade gets caught off. He's gonna push because the grenade's going off behind him. The player's playing bathroom behind him, so he gets shot in the back. He sees one player on the freezer. It's kicks to finish him off. Gasher gets killed of his own. The kicks the refrag, which is great there for his team. Eddie takes the place. And really, Aqualix are actually somewhat playing aggressive in these moments, just making it more difficult. Sure, they roam, but 2Faced is still having problems. And what is going on?
This is a new one too.
Now we're really back in the 90s.
All right, well, yeah, Old CRT TV right there. But so, it's now 3v4. 2Faced in the man disadvantage. They decide, you know what, let's try to make something happen on the blue side of things. That's Butters on the Yana trying to make a play happen over there. Meanwhile, 2 push in from Moto. Butters doesn't have any more nades, and he's also now rotating out of Generator. So that means that the player playing in there, that's Rethinking, alongside England on the smoke, have full control over that area and can deny the push in through Moto. Butters will instead try to either join his team in pushing Moto or push on down long. But either way, 2Faced just have to take heads-up gunfights, anxiously push through doorways, and right now it's working a bit better than anticipated. A 2v2, but Eddie contemplates the plant, rotates off, and instead gets a couple bullets in his back. Butters will manage to trade with Rethinking, but there's one player left alive. The king of the hill is Gasher, or England, actually, who ends up winning that round for his team.
I was still like, even though Aqualix didn't do anything crazy that round, they didn't try to like play any crazy roam. They still played aggressive at good times. CZ getting that first pick, getting aggressive on those main stairs. You don't often see someone playing main stairs for the shield or my disc and ADS. And you saw, of course, there was Surf trying to push the main stairs. Throws a grenade, gets caught by ADS in that moment. CZ pushes, takes the advantage, gets the kill, and pushes down the hall for another kill. Doesn't see that there's Kicks playing inside a freezer. Kicks gets that refrag, but below him is England, or not really. It was actually it was Gasher. Gasher below him able to get that refrag too. So really, just these moments in play from AQ that round. Really interesting that they were playing aggressive certain times. And in the end, even though 2Faced didn't have to deal with a roam, they still took quite a while to try and create and execute.
No, the struggle really was transitioning onto that bottom floor, but honestly, good, I suppose, inter-floor crossfire by Gasher and CZ to get that kill onto Kicks. Because that doesn't happen. And Gasher either dies or if CZ gets that kill but is traded out. I think 2Faced might actually have a lot easier of a time moving on to that bottom floor, but Gasher's able to get that kill. Things go differently. Now 2Faced get to go to Gym Bedroom. This is a site where a direct take is a lot more easier than it is on Basement. For Basement, you have to get some semblance of vertical control. There's no avenue where you can just move into the site. Here, you have the jacuzzi wall that leads directly to the outside. That's already a powerful angle if you open it up early on to help stop some rotations down below onto the second floor, or just get a good avenue and a good option to open up early on if you want to play in there. Then, of course, you can go over to CCTV as well and begin to open things up, and that could be some easier control if you brute force it or get enough players over there with nades and just guns up watching anybody to rotate out.
Well, so far, it looks like the first entry is going to be Butters walking through dirt. Maybe it's like an unexpected play, walking up red stairs or walking up main stairs as they're destroying things, walking down through. And it looks like, I'm not sure, I saw them extending into cash for the side of Aqualix, and whether or not 2Faced go for a play, even try to clear that extension is going to be the, the question here for 2Faced. And it looks like they're all focusing maybe on the main stairs, actually. Butters in a position to push up, but he may be trying to maybe grenade the person out of office from below. And it's interesting, yeah, they still bring the Kite on England, and they have the Thatcher available, so there's still, oh my god.
Got
a flank for a flank.
Yeah. Got caught with his hand in the cookie jar on that one. Butter's able to, yeah, but has the intel. I was going to say, able to think and be like, oh, Afer might flank, but there was just a Z-ping there. He just acted on intel. That's still good, though. Good from 2Faced that they are doing that. Butters lands the opening pick, and since Afer was all the way down below, a bit difficult for Aqualix to trade out, so they'll lose that Malusi early on. Potentially had a C4 as well, which I do believe. I'll just do a quick count. I believe she had. I think, actually, the C4 count is wrong, though. It says there's 3 C4s, and there's only 2.
Well,
either
no,
way.
no. One is what's available, and 2 is the total count.
Oh! I thought it was like
Maybe?
the previous system where 1 is the one in use, 2 are the ones in the pocket.
And see, that's why it's different between like attack and defense. That's why it's so weird. I might be wrong. Someone tell me I'm wrong, please.
You probably are. You usually are. I don't... You're wrong all the time. Anyway.
Damn.
Counting the numbers almost made me lose my train of thought. But for right now, here's the thing, Benny. Not Aqualix. 2Faced are pretty much just only attacking this jacuzzi side right now, which on the one hand, you can all start to solidify and move in. But now that CZ has swung out and taken down Silent on the jacuzzi balk, one member of that push is now gone. Rethink is able to get one as well. Surf might have landed a refrag, but since everybody's just pushing from one way, all of Aqualix know, even in their man disadvantage, exactly where they need to look. Kicks, the last one alive, will make his way into bathroom, the only one, or the only member of 2Faced to actually make it into one of the bomb sites. Well, at what cost has it come? Rethinking low HP, Kicks will swing out. His position is known. Playing inside a bathroom is oh so dangerous a position because of how many angles you have to consider if you try to swing on out. 15 seconds left. The Malusi will continue to give intel to Aqualix on the position he's now taken, and England will manage to finish him off on that long angle. That round might have gotten the opening pick, but 2Faced had a very one-dimensional execute. Well, 1.5 dimensions in that they pushed from the same way, but one of them was just a little bit further up.
Yeah, I would say the only real control they had was main stairs and the jacuzzi wall.
That was about it.
That was about it. They
got
didn't play the
Afer,
windows
though.
even. Like if someone at least played the windows, they could try and deny. Like we saw the Butters push up between that hallway, go towards office, but he got shot in the back by rethinking playing bedroom. So if someone's on the bedroom balcony, they can deny rethinking from playing position and killing Butters pushing office by himself. So it just seemed like 2Faced didn't have quite the grasp on what to do here to deal with those players, because it's always like I make this comparison a lot where like if you push one way, the members of the defense just find solace. They find solace in other places on the map. They just go towards construction. They play inside of gym because nobody's playing the windows. They play inside office and they wait for you to push in, and they just take fights. And it just becomes you taking fights in disadvantaged positions, even though that 2Faced that opened up the entire bathroom wall. Members of Aqualix are just ready and waiting positions to deny them walking in. So unfortunately,
yeah. Sorry. Well,
that's not it.
I was going to say it's especially odd because 2Faced, it's not like they lost a man early on and they were forced to make do with what they had, or there was such a dominant presence in one spot that they couldn't rotate. There was a lot of people playing inside of CCTV, but as you said, nobody's really contesting balcony. It's outside. You just put one person over there. It's a lot easier. You have the man advantage. A lot of things just didn't happen. So I agree with your assessment. It was a very.
It seemed like a very
one-dimensional,
a very lazy attack. Like they could have easily just had someone open up the CCTV wall and deny the server presence. Not hard to do, really, or CCTV presence. But anyway, I digress. We go on to a next round. We go on to CCTV and Cash for our next defense from the side of Aqualix. So far, 2 rounds in a row, looking good for them so far. And really, now we're going to see how 2Faced can attack this site, because this site, it's been getting more difficult for the defense, as we go on in these days with all the changes. And again, we play this downstairs game once again as grenade come out. Intel, perfect intel on the side of 2Faced. Down goes Afer once again. When will he learn to stop roaming down here?
At first it was Butters, now it was Surf, but honestly that might be a little bit more impressive than Butters' flank watch on main stairs. Surf just solo pushes dirt, they have intel in his position, perfectly cooks the nade to land behind box 1. Blows A for Sky High. What more could you want from a solo roam clear down below? Maybe be like, hey, send another person. What if you lose that gunfight and you get killed with a nade in your hand? But you still got the kill, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Butters is taking up a familiar position for him on main stairs, this time trying to get some vertical play down below. Nobody's in logistics right now, unfortunately, or not in the direct position he's looking. He does have a neat little angle looking up through the floor, but everyone from Aqualix right now, or the majority of them, are just moving back into the site. There might still be one in bedroom, I'm not too sure, but for the most part, nope, the defense is almost entirely in or around the site.
At this point, with the man down, they have to back up, and the grenade from below, I believe Rethinking was banishing, so the grenade from below inside the lounge will down Rethinking, and 2Faced so far is looking really good for their round. They have the control they need, they have the picks, and the denial, they can open up some walls and make their way onto site. I'm not sure if they've opened up plat wall just yet, but they have the man advantage, and they could have the 2-man advantage, so they can kill Rethinking. Rethinking gets up, actually. Looks like he got picked up by a Kona station, actually, which is the reason why Thunderbird can be very helpful for situations. So far, in the end, I don't know what really 2Faced has control of. Silent gets another kill on CZ, and yeah, looking great man advantage-wise.
Well, I mean, that is what they have control of. They have control of the man count right now. 5v3, almost a 5v2. Oh. Now, definitely a 5v2. Surf able to punish England for his peak. Gasher, he's now gone. Will manage to headshot Eddie with the shotgun of all weapons, but there's 4 people, one of them still being outside Jacuzzi Breach. That's exactly where Gasher swings from, able to clean him up. So a solid round by 2Faced on the attack. A really good roam clear early on. Good intel by Surf, or just good awareness to know that somebody might be playing behind box 1. Then from that point on, 2Faced, nobody was really playing inside a construction or inside a bedroom. They just push on in, they open plat wall, open CC window, really just played their angles in. Members of Aqualix took fights and they lost.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of a slow push from 2Faced where they slowly constrict around the area of, Aqualix, because Aqualix wasn't playing aggressive because they were down man advantage. And unfortunately, though, they just 2Faced just look for the times they can take out these players, either playing aggressive or they're playing in positions we're not aware of, because you saw there was one below The one playing, I think it was CZ playing upstairs inside of, rafters at Summer Lounge. They get an angle on him, kill him. One player goes down red stairs. They get picked up going down because they're low HP. And there's unfortunate Aqualix didn't have a position the entire round to try and bring it back. And 2Faced just systematically, not only systematically, but just slowly but surely open things up, push on in, take fights, win every single fight. So we go back downstairs to back to Arsenal and Church. And this is where, there's a great start from CZ getting that first pick on that main stairs, because not very often you see playing people main stairs with no shield. So let's see if he can do it once again. I'm assuming at this point 2Faced are aware of this. They're not going to fall for it again.
I imagine plays like that are not going to happen. Gasher also switching to the Pulse from the Maestro. Interesting rotation. That Maestro is pretty common op on this site, and Pulse not as common. Still has its uses. It is called Pulse Spot for a reason on the site. You know where it is. It's right below the hatch. If you're in kitchen, it's like to the right of you. That whole soft wall or that soft floor, that's where Pulse Spot is. By Kool-Aid Wall, you want to call it that as well. That's really awkward that there are two, two colloquial callouts right next to each other.
Oh, it's like what we call Ash Wall too, actually. Ash Wall is the wall that you rush through as well into Arsenal. So that's interesting. Is these callouts are always so weird. I always
have fun trying to figure out where somebody's playing if you're new to this game. It's like, oh yeah, no, just rush Ash Wall into Pulse Spot. You'll be fine. You're like, I don't know. I think
the worst is when you people give call us the pro players, because pro players play certain spots very well. So it's like when someone calls up Bolo, and you're like, where the heck is Bolo? Because
it's like how you.
Oh my God, it's easy.
Yeah, we had that conversation about Kanto Spot not being called Kanto anymore because Kanto doesn't play the game anymore.
Oh,
but anyway,
that. Oh.
Anyway, sorry, we got a little bit on a tangent there. While that happened, Surf managed to find a pick onto CZ. That was actually the opposite from the very first round. CZ rushed up, got a kill. This time he's punished, but that C4 from Aether, again, well, this time different from the first round, actually manages to have an impact in that it gets the kill onto Surf, landing that trade down from the floor below. And honestly, right there, that's a trade that favors Aqualix more than 2Faced. You lose your sledge, and sure, you lose CZ, but he's probably going to die there anyway 9 times out of 10, so losing him is honestly expected in terms of the plans.
Oh, and Nash Gasher with his own C4. Play the post below. Like you said, post spot. Big on them, denying that kitchen plays from the side of 2Faced. A great shot from Aether. Butters just holding the angle for a little too long, allowing for Aether to re-peek multiple times and win that fight. And again, it seems like, this is... 2Faced are making kind of one-sided plays. Butters by himself on that blue push, and since they didn't clear out blue, rethinking peeks out perfectly. Eddie, though, good Aether. Aether gets aggressive on that main hallway. Unfortunately, loses his fight, loses his life to Eddie, but Eddie's also in a 1v4, turned into a 1v3.
Now aware of his position, you'll start to creep on in. 50 seconds left, so he has some time to make this work, but really not all that much in the grand scheme of things. So on top of that, Gasher with the heartbeat scanner can continue beaming intel to his team, and 2 will start to swing both Gasher and England in tandem. And Eddie isn't even looking the right way, not able to land the shots on either. Aqualix up 3-1 right now, Benny, on the defense. Don't think many of us anticipated, based off Aqualix's performance last week, they'd start off this good. That maybe we should listen to Connor a little bit more. Maybe this is something beautiful.
I think the big thing too as well, like we saw 2Faced beat PB last week, but it was in Oregon, and a lot of what 2Faced did were these not even brazen, but these plays that you need to be doing your due diligence for. You need to be checking corners and playing, methodically to deal with it. And unfortunately, PB were playing a bit lax. They weren't really expecting it, and 2Faced took full advantage last week on Oregon too of all maps, because Oregon's a very small map, and they were playing in positions you wouldn't expect. And Clubhouse is kind of like that. I'm interested to see if they do the same thing on their defense. And it seems like here on attack, we're seeing more of what 2Faced, unfortunately, isn't quite as, accustomed to, is those attacks. Those creating those, two-prong attacks. Like you saw Butters was trying to take control of blue by himself. Nobody with him. Nobody helping him.
Do keep in mind, last week on Oregon, obviously Oregon and Clubhouse are 2 different maps, quite literally. They also play out differently. But if we do want to look at the one time that this 2Faced roster has played in CL so far, they were more defender-sided in the time that they played. But again, that was also Oregon. It's a very different map than how it plays. So maybe it's just 2Faced aren't as coordinated on the attack, and really they are a defender-sided team. Or maybe this is just something, as you said, more wrong with 2Faced attacks. Something with the coordination and the overall very plain attacks that they're going for that aren't reminiscent of the 2Faced that was rumored or that we've even seen through quals or in the game so far. For right now, not the final round just yet, but the second to last, are going back to Gym Bedroom. And if you're talking about plain attacks that are very one-dimensional and not that creative or have a lot going for them, Benny, this was the premier example for 2Faced so far.
Aether, please no.
Afer just has not had a good run of it in basement so far.
He is not. There's actually no pushing basement this time. Actually, it looks like Butters made a hole, expecting maybe for Afer to push out and maybe get a pick on somebody on that balcony. But Afer's not pushing that for the moment. They did drone out Afer as well, but nobody's pushing the basement this time. Looks like they may re-drone him, make sure they confirm he's still in the basement, far down below, and maybe they will try to pinch him out, get that first pick, because that's kind of the big thing so far. Is they've been picking off Afer again and again, not every round, but most of these 3 rounds they've done so. Or 2 of these 4 rounds so far they've done so. So I'm expecting to happen again as they drone him out. And really, again, is this going to be the same play where they just open Jacuzzi, push up main stairs, and expect to win the fights on the players on Aqualix?
Well, they've opened up that Jacuzzi breach. That's exactly what they did previously in the time they attacked Gym Bedroom. So this is where we need to see some changes made by 2Faced. Are they just going to do exactly what you said, Benny, and just push up main stairs? Or are we going to see some diversification and where they're putting and slotting their operators on this attack? Right now, Butters is still just chilling inside of main lobby. Surf there as well. Silent and Kicks moving up to that Jacuzzi balk. Right now, it appears it might very well be the very same take. Butters will try to land a nade onto England from below, but he's rotated off. Nothing there. Kicks will also use some Soma charges to open things up, but it just does appear that 2Faced are going for the same take, and that means that Aqualix are still in their positions to deny the push in from Jacuzzi or Gym with those long angles.
Well, there's some good intel, at least from the side of 2Faced. They're droning out these members on site, and there's members like, I think it was England, whoever was playing Gym last time, was big in stopping the push through Jacuzzi. England goes down to Eddie on the balcony. Then we talked about the balcony. It was a big one. Throw a grenade right through. Surf will get the kill on to be thinking. There's a second player there. Great shot from Surf on the second one. Kicks begins to plant the diffuser. Sees he gets a kill on Eddie, though, to refrag. But there's 2 members left on the side of Aqualix that have to retake the site. And then coming through positions that I believe 2Faced already understand. Gasher with the trade. Sees he gets his own in the Butters. It's 1v2. Sees he's low in HP. He's pushing through in the hallway. Doesn't know where anybody is. And Kicks peeks at the right time. Down sees he goes. And 2Faced will take a second attacking round.
And I think right as I tossed it off to you, one of the big changes we saw was Eddie, about 2 seconds after you started talking, hopped down onto that metal balk. And then immediately gets a kill onto England. What better timing to prove me wrong than at that exact moment? They actually slot a player in a powerful position. Now, of course, do keep in mind, because they never cleared out CCTV, there is potential to get counted from that CC window. But Surf is able to get not only a nade kill, but also just a kill with his gun onto 2 players playing inside of logistics, and that opens things up. There was potential for Eddie to get killed from that CC window, or to have to take a gunfight watching his back on that CC window. But because Surf is also able to get the kill on main stairs, the call is made, they're able to begin their execute and start moving on in before Aqualix can try and recapture the momentum and the advantage they had early on. So it is still a bit worrisome sometimes that 2Faced aren't directly countering Aqualix's extension, but since the kills were got in a timely manner by 2Faced, they were able to mitigate that, push on in, get their second attacking win.
Yeah, 2Faced that round, they just changed up a little bit, getting those picks where they need to be in. Unfortunately, members of Aqualix were not ready. So yeah, Surf was big there. Surf getting those 2 picks and Logi just denying that entire side of the push that did. Well, that was the thing. They had 1 player on the balcony. Last time it was the player inside the bedroom, a player in Logi that denied Butters from walking through. That kind of crossfire is huge. So having Eddie on the balcony, having Surf push at the same time, that was, I guess, an adaptation that 2Faced did perfectly that round. And this round, this round was the round that Aqualix lost to as well, due to just so far getting the first pick on the roam clear on the Afer once again, and then also being able to then just slowly but surely just push onto site, push into construction, push the player on, the balcony, and get those picks they need. So this round, let's see if 2Faced can do it once more. Those time is a bit different. They are full reinforcing that construction wall into Logi actually, which is a bit different.
It is a bit different, but it also does mean while 2Faced will have to maybe dedicate an ace charge to opening that up or an exothermic as well, it does mean that 2Faced can play in there a little bit more comfortably without having to worry about anybody, peeking out. And that was something that worked really well for them before. They got that master bedroom and construction control fairly quickly. And then once they got that control, they were able to put a lot more focus on minimizing the impact of England on the bandit, on that plat wall. Now, of course, there's no bandit this go around. They're just using the mute for hard destruction. But 2Faced were still able to expertly deal with the players playing inside of CCTV on top of getting this control on this western side of the map pretty much for free. And it's the same story this round. Butters rotates on up, destroys some intel, some default cams, but beyond that, they're able to get this bit of the map, or big part of the map, pretty easily. Now it'll just be a matter of, can they also continue their success inside of the CCTV and inside of Garage as well, because you get this for free. But how will 2Faced do once they actually have to face a challenge?
So because they reinforce that that wall into between lodging and construction, they not reinforce that long wall between two sides. Butters takes some team damage in the back from a breach charge from his friend of, I believe, Eddie, or not Eddie, probably from kicks maybe from the on the ace there. Unfortunate for Butters, but really, and there's nobody playing lounge, so there's full control that for 2Faced just play below and lounge and try and get picks and push on in. Especially with now they're focusing on construction. I assume at this point 2Faced put more focus on Raptors this time instead, because Raptors seems to be an easier take for them. Surf trying to take an early engagement on the play rest there. He'll see a shotgun and he'll push off for the moment.
Yeah, that was scary for Surf. Just immediately sees an SMG-11 over his head. You'll think, you know what, I'm going to rotate back. And also, my apologies. I thought that construction wall was reinforced, but it's not, and that's important because, as you said, now they'll rotate down into Garage. But this is where things start to go awry. CZ still alive with 40 seconds left. A Kona station by him as well. Gets the opening pick on the Surf, a player with nades. Butters still has some, but with 35 seconds left, it's going to be difficult to get players all in a position to coordinatedly take down CZ, especially Witch. He doesn't want to go down without a fight. He's able to get 2 kills. Butters finally shuts him down, but not only is it man advantage for Aqualix, 2Faced only now have Garage control with 20 seconds left. Flat wall is open, so the attack can help cut down and stop any rotations coming into the site, but still with man advantage and how quickly 2Faced need to move, it's going to be difficult for them to get the bomb down. Kicks will put a breach charge on the wall. England gets the kill onto Silent outside on that wall, and instead 2Faced will go for the frags, but with that man advantage, Aqualix are able to work it successfully. Final kill goes their way. I believe that's Afer, and Aqualix secure themselves a 4-2 half.
Yeah, we usually talk about how Raptors control is usually a big part for the attacking team, but when it comes to those dying seconds and the the defending team still has smokes, C4 is available to their name, it's not looking good for them, even though they have control of Raptors and control of Plat, because at that point it just comes down to gunfights. You have to walk past, you have to try and either bait out that utility, which they don't have time to do, or you have to push in and take fights, and they were already in a man disadvantage. And that is that Aqualix are ready and waiting for those fights that were definitely coming their way. And you saw they denied the entire push from Plat, that push through the window. Butters the last one left, pushing through into Cash from CCTV. He gets taken out. And yeah, I'll say that early round was much better from Aqualix. They knew that they had denied construction, forcing 2Faced to go for a Raptors control. CZ playing that position perfectly, gets 2 picks from Raptors. So great job from them. When we go on to Aqualix is now their attack. We'll see if what 2Faced can do in the defense.
Well, what 2Faced are doing on the defense is about what you would expect from 2Faced. In their first showing, but also throughout quals, they very much preferred roaming off the site as opposed to heavily anchoring. Aqualix obviously preferred the latter as opposed to the former. They sat all 5 of their members, except maybe CZ behind a deployable shield. They all sat them on the site, and even then, CZ was still fairly close to the site in an easy position to rotate back. This go around, 2Faced doing a bit of an SSG roam. We got the Vigil, the Mute, and the Mozzie. Aruni and Maestro as well. Maestro is not often associated with this extension of a roam, but it's also one of those strategies that it's been around so long, teams are going to experiment, work with different things. And a Maestro on the site is still a powerful tool if Aqualix decides to try to rush things and take things quickly. It doesn't appear they're going that way, and that they'll likely have to face players like Butters, like Silent, head on.
Yeah, because that was a big thing about Oregon last week, was how aggressive 2Faced was on their defense, and they were playing, as you said before, as you saw Crow and them say, was rat plays. And that was the big thing here, is can they deal with these rat plays? Can they deal with this aggression from 2Faced? And really, there's certain parts of the defense. Can they identify a weak point in this defense, in this roam, and just try maybe push on site? But again, if you're going to do for that quick play on the site, you have to be aggressive. You have to be decisive in your play. And I don't know, with Aqualix are ready for that just yet in this new roster. So Afer pushing down below. He's by himself, pushing from strip towards that main stairs. And his front player inside a bar. Oh, he sees the gun. He sees the damage, but it's the Vigil of Silent who backs off. He lives alive for the moment, but he's being pressured from so many different angles.
Well, there's a big change right there. Afer is still able to get that kill, but there's a big difference in how Afer had to take that fight as opposed to how you were able to take that fight previously. That panel right next to the billiards table or looking into the bar is now hard. You can't break that wall open, so Afer has to take that gunfight, either peek from bathroom or from billiards, to win that fight. Now, of course, he did manage to win it. Good job, able to take down Silent, but now with England falling as well, you don't have that Zofia. Don't have the impacts to destroy any potential Maestro cams or concussions to burn any Aruni gates, but it appears that Aqualix might not need that. Gasher's able not only to get a kill on a player inside the site, but he's in it. He's just ran on in, and at Aqualix, they might have to do a bit of catching up to their IGL's pace, but it appears they've done that fairly quickly. A second kill for Afer, downs Butters on the floor. Surf, sure he's alive inside of Arsenal, but he's about the only one left. Kicks is the other one by him, by his side. He's rotating down main. He's able to get a kill, but with the bomb on the floor, it appears that Kicks might not have all the intel at his disposal. Knows there might be one inside of Moto. You'll have to take the angle. Thankfully for him, Afer's not looking the right way, able to finish him off. Now a 2v2. Rethinking flanks from the very same spot that Kicks just came from. He also puts Surf down to 1 HP. He spots the player playing behind the black box. He's able to down him with all those bullets. One player, 1v1, both on 1 HP. But Rethinking prone on the floor gets the better of Surf. A quick execute or a quick transition into one by Aqualix sends them up 5-2 in their first attacking round.
Getting that first pick onto the player of Silent and playing, you know, as I said before, you have to take the fight. You're getting position, you're getting pushed from so many positions, and there's that new door now between that stage area and the bar. So yeah, at that point, it's now to take a fight, and the other members from 2Faced who, you know, were playing aggressive, were getting taken out. In a, you know, Gasher gets that one pick on site in church, walks right to black box, and has full control of site and can plant. Putting into post plant, which now 2Faced has to try and take back. There was that flank from, I believe it was Kicks, getting from behind down main stairs. That was a good flank right there, but he was by himself. And members from, you know, Aqualix were ready to take back that side of the map, leaving, who was it? I think it was the maestro of Eddie or Surf in a, you know, 1v2, 2v2, 2-1v3. Which was close though. They all did a 1v1.
Yeah, that kill on Gasher sitting behind black box. I was like, oh, okay, that might be it. And honestly, him and Rethinking on 1 HP, there was a fairly solid chance that he lands the pre-fire on Rethinking. Rethinking was at the bottom of main stairs. That's a fairly common position to play in that post plant, but hitting the prone when both players on 1 HP, that's just the kind of play that makes the difference in those engagements sometimes. And going back to Jim, this was a site that I believe for the defense had a 50% win rate. 2Faced were able to win it eventually, but it was also off the back of some frags managing to go their way off a fairly one-dimensional clear. Aqualix, I imagine, are going to take this a little bit differently. I doubt that they're only going to focus on Jacuzzi and main stairs. They're probably going to place a little bit more focus on that CCTV side, if I were to hedge a guess.
That is a lot of shields they have inside a bedroom. They have like 3 shields in bedroom facing different directions. That is interesting. But yeah, let's see how shields. Hey, you need all the shields you can to stop them pushing that balcony side. And well, it looks like they're actually gonna head on to this roam clear, this extension, or they can roam clear this extension from the side of Aqualix 2Faced. Aqualix be the one doing the roam clearing again. So far, aim for the first one coming through. They're gonna drone to see what players are playing cash. Do they see the one playing right around the corner and one playing red, the Jaeger and the Aruni of both Eddie and Silence? And now the question is how can they synchronize their push on a site. The Renegades will be the first thing to deal with. And so there's already 2 Renegades on that CCTV wall. The plat wall, let's get rid of it. They're going to push right in. And so far, this will be the chance, because there's already been a minute gone by. Are they going to stay for the lives, or are the members of 2Faced going to leave when that pressure comes their way?
This is sort of the issue right now. The player playing on red stairs, this can be a very difficult position to escape from, but he times it just right. But actually, never mind. I was capping. He rotates on in, but unfortunately, there are holes open wide in looking into Cash. Silent evades the nade, but mid-sprint, Afer anticipates that and catches him on the rotate back. But, Benny, you lose a Jaeger? You get Gasher on the Thermite when he's still on CCTV side, hasn't opened up plat wall yet? I'd make that trade any day.
Yeah, and Rethinking only has 1 Selma charge left too, so this is not looking great. That was a great angle from Butters. He has that long angle from construction all the way facing that plat wall, able to get that shot. So great shot from Butters to deal a heavy blow to the utility game from Aqualix. And now Aqualix at this point, they have to rotate into just a one-sided push here because they only have 1 ace charge left, which I believe just got used because I heard something open. Yep, he just used it on the Jacuzzi wall. That's a small hole that is very difficult to get through, so it's kind of difficult. I'm not sure how viable that push is for them. Aver takes a lot of damage. I believe he's on the office hatch, the logistics hacks, and well, at this point, Aqualix are a bit of a pickle.
This is very difficult. You might be able to put someone Jacuzzi wall and have them watch the angle like Rethinking is doing, but as you said, you don't want to stake your entire execute onto pushing in from Jacuzzi. So now you're forced to move into construction, but Afer's also taken a lot of damage on that logistics hatch. So normally we'd see him try to pressure that area, but if he makes one misstep, He's 1 HP. One bullet will seal his fate. England will try to push in to compensate for that. The frag grenade goes on in, and the concussion in tandem signals that there's somebody playing close by. 3 members all swinging. They'll manage to find 2 kills. It's actually Afer dropping who manages to find it, but now he's the only one left, and he's cleaned right on up. Butters 2 kills to seal out the round. It was a lost operator and a couple just very slim margins on their take that forced Aqualix to try to compensate, and they just didn't have enough in their arsenal to make it work.
Yeah, they'd wasted. They'd use 1 exothermic charge early in the round and 2 Selmas to push out that extension. They get the first pick, but then, Butters with a great angle long through that construction wall, through that that cache wall, into that bridge, kills Gasher, the other member of that exothermic charge you desperately need for that Jacuzzi take. And without that, and without any really impact either, there's only so many grenades in hand because they're only bringing 1 operator with grenades. It's Sledge. So there's only so many grenades to deal with all those shields on the side of 2Faced. And it doesn't matter which side they go for. There's a shield facing Jacuzzi. There's a shield facing Doorway into construction. There's a shield facing Logi. There were so many shields to deal with in 2Faced. Get some good kills in Aqualix game that mid-round late game. But 2Faced still played by those shields perfectly, expected the push, and took out member after member from Aqualix. So great job, 2Faced. We go on back downstairs for a defense, and this was kind of that roam game that kind of didn't go great for 2Faced.
No, Aqualix were able to get a kill on a Silent very early on, made quick work of him inside of bar, and then they just immediately transitioned into an execute after Gasher killed one of the only players either playing in blue or inside of the site. I can't quite remember, but he managed to find a kill on the site and then immediately ran on in and got the bomb down. Obviously the right call. This go around, switching from they've taken out the Aruni and the Maestro and instead put back in a Malusi and a Castle. The Castle specifically I want to highlight because I think that's a good switch. Surf could really use the help with those Castle barricades and what they provide. It'll force Aqualix to, of course, open those up, reveal their position to Surf, and hopefully you have a little bit better of a time actually holding on the bar.
Yeah, that's when there was just so many angles for Surf to walk from. He's just getting shot from 3 different angles, and he can't leave. He can't walk out. He's got a player behind him, player in front of him. So these castle barracks are great to at least give him a chance to walk away from these fights rather than being pinched out early in the round. Do you see him once again? There's Surf playing that position. Looks like he may have droned out. I must have seen those the visuals there, not because if he can't see the visual and goes, oh my god, Surf turns around. That's Surf for you. Turns around, gets that kill. Can he get a second? He sees the player long haul by chains. He's gonna take it for a second and just wait to say this time to tick by as the rest of Aqualix. Well, they're not really even with. They were even with the Afer even, so now we can refrag.
Already demonstrating in the first minute how much better this hold is with those castle barricades on hand for Surf to make work. Almost lands a pre-fire and a second kill onto CZ. He will land the pre-fire, but unfortunately not the kill. Does the majority of CZ's damage in HP, but the important part is he's still alive. He's still trying to make this work. There is one player playing over by bathrooms, so maybe oh no, the hatch is actually reinforced, so he cannot rotate down. This could be a bit tricky, but meanwhile down below, England has not only got a kill on the site, he's 1 HP, but Aqualix might be in a position to rush on in once again. That's exactly what they'll do. Rethinking lands the kill on the Butters while Surf is still chasing Ghosts up top. Aqualix are clearing out down below. Silent, though, manages to land the C4 sent from the heavens, able to find Gasher and put the bomb on the floor, but not in the way Aqualix would like. England picks it back up, puts it right back down, but 2Faced are regaining ground. Kicks also going for a flank. England doesn't have the intel. He walks right into his arms. 1 HP. That's an easy kill for Kicks to clean up. Rethinking the only one left. He's found Silent. His body framed perfectly in that hole. One pushing from blue, the other pushing from main. He hears the C4 rip. It lands right at his feet. Can't shoot it at midair. Kicks will be able to land the defuse. It's 2 rounds in a row for 2Faced.
Oh, everyone saw that one moment that could have been the round for Aqualix. That C4 from the Malusi. That was the turning moment. Oh, I guess the beginning part was affected. Afer walks in bathroom. Again, they're trying to create that pinch on the player. Well, I thought they were creating that pinch on the player inside a bar. But unfortunately, Afer was really the only one ready for the fight. Because, of course, you start talking about castle barricades. They castle barricades all around bar. And they didn't have quite the utility to destroy all those castle barriers to create that pinch in a timely manner. Afer pushes out first, loses the fight to Silence, creates that man advantage already for 2Faced, and they trying to Aqualix on the other side, Dirt and Blue, were trying to create that execute at that point because they knew it was going to be a lost cause trying to push Silent out of the bar. They get in sight. Gash is going for the plant. If he got that plant down, I think they would have had the play at that point because they had control of Blue and control of Dirt. But the C4 at the perfect moment almost gets caught out. getting shot by Rethinking. But C4 denies the plant. They're already down a man. They're already down to 3 people at that point. They have to go for the plant again, and that allowed for the members of 2Faced to flank in those moments, take control of blue, retake sites they need to, and make that retake happen. Great job from 2Faced. 5-4. 2Faced are 1 round from catching up.
And if we're taking Aqualix's philosophy, which is the moment they feel like they have the control necessary, they immediately send it on in. Here's what you want to look out for if Aqualix are going to continue with that play. 1, if they get Garage early on, and they're able to open up plat wall, you might see them just start sending it on through. And of course, there is 1 C4 and 3 toxic canisters on the side of 2Faced, so there will be some intel or utility they have to consider. But if they get garage control and then maybe bait out some utility and open up plat wall, you might see Aqualix go for that same play. Of course, that is considering if they go for that side. If they go for a take from construction, it's going to be a lot harder to make that quick rush call if you're attacking from that side. Don't have a lot of options to immediately just send it on through.
No, it looks like they're maybe focusing on Raptors for the moment. We see England here with a few of the members at plat wall, but the question is a Bandit in play? We saw Bandit from the side of Aqualix on their defense, though it didn't seem to really play out very well because there was enemy playing down below in Lounge, so they had no problem going to Lounge and denying the Bandit of Rethinking last time. So let us see this time. They're just kind of stare at each other. What's going on here?
I was about to say, it looks like they're literally communicating in-game. That's so weird.
Interesting.
Surely they're not just... I doubt they're actually just going to send it
on.
Oh,
no, they're doing 2. The Ace and the Thermite.
That makes a lot more sense. Unfortunately, the exothermic will get caught, and oh no.
He caught all of them.
Oh my god. Kix is just that guy. He's going to get the other one. He's going to get the other one.
He's got all of them.
Somebody give this man a medal. Somebody give this man a commendation.
I lied. He didn't get either match.
Oh, you did?
We're wrong.
Oh,
they pulled them off. They were baiting. I lied. I totally lied. They did get 2 of the Selmas though.
I got really excited because
I thought he got all of them too because I saw them on there. We were
spectating Kix. All I saw was him put it on, and then the bandit batter go down. I just assumed he got it. Well, never mind. England will let it down below.
Yeah, that should give him the access to deny the bandit now.
That is true. And, well, look that. CZ now has found Kix. So, good job on Gasher, able to put off those exothermics. He did it so good and so quietly, I thought he failed, but turns out he made it. Butters, that's exactly the kind of play you'd expect from Butters. He's like, nobody's pressuring me Raptors. What if I just sprint out garage door, and you'll find a kill on top of it?
I don't think he sprint out. I think he just beat the doorway.
Well, you get what I was going for. You get the mentality that Butters was employing when he peeked outside that garage door. Problem is, he's the only one left. Or not the only one left. Him and Surf are the only one left, but they're both in difficult positions. Butters, sure, he still has Raptors control, but all the members of Aqualix are starting to push on Surf. So Butters is going to be in a bit of a difficult spot. He might be able to get a kill in that angle, but it's really going to be on Surf to hold off the attack as long as possible.
Well, they're trying to delay this. Surf is trying his best with those toxic canisters, and great shot on the Aether. He's denied that construction take for a little bit. Butters takes out CZ, and it's looking good for 2Faced. 2v2 for the last 2 members. Rethinking takes out Surf, and there it is. The last one, Butters, goes down to Rethinking. Aqualix on match point in that round. Oh, dude, if Kix actually had gotten all of that destruction of utility, it would have been a different round.
No, yeah, if my excitement was well-founded, that round would be over. That would have been... That'd have been one of the more insane plays in CL so far, and nobody would have died. He still got 2 Selmas though. That is admirable.
I guess it's on. I guess it's more like Gasher did well by baiting the exothermic charge over and over again.
That is true. But so match point for Aqualix. After their previous performance last week, I really didn't anticipate them to actually make it to match point, just because, again, with how weak they looked, I thought it'd be a bit more of a climb, especially against an opponent like 2Faced. But so far, Aqualix have just done a really good job in terms of calling. They've gotten the control they needed, and they haven't wasted a second when it comes to making the execute happen. They got a little bit tripped up with that bandit by Kix. I'll give 2Faced that. But again, once they got the kills necessary, it was a 2v4, and it only happened when it only came down to a 2v2 when Butters and Surf both managed to get a frag apiece. Aqualix on their attacking halves have just looked really solid overall when it's come to calling, even in the spots where they faltered.
I would say, yeah, too. So Aqualix so far, yeah, they've been looking really good. Maybe it's that veteranship that England brings. Hard to say. Or Gashes on the IGLing has just been perfect so far. Hard to say. I don't know. But it's been fantastic to see that on the map like Clubhouse, they're still able to play a very well game. And hey, if they keep expanding, they keep working with those 2 new members and they're able to expand their map pool, hey, Aqualix could be a great team that once again go into playoffs. Oh, well, we'll see. Time will tell. And so we go on to Bedroom and Gym for next defense from 2Faced. And last time, getting the kill onto Gasher on a Thermite gated them, put them into push and hold into a certain attack. They had no real utility to go for a Jacuzzi push and make that two-prong attack because they were pushing out those members inside of Cache, and they only had one Selma left, and one Selma isn't enough to push through Jacuzzi, unfortunately. And they also had a lot of shields on the side of 2Faced, which they didn't have enough grenades, enough impact, enough explosives to deal with it.
Now going here, same positions being held by 2Faced, one player on red stairs, one player inside of Cache. Of course, they were able to find the red player, but it was the player in Cache that evaded the sights of Aqualix the last time they attacked this site. There's also one playing inside of Logistics, and the main problem for Aqualix here was the take they were going for was solid, but they did lose one. They lost Gasher early on, and then Afer was also on low HP when he was the main player trying to make things happen inside of Logistics. Here so far, minutes passed, nobody on the side of Aqualix has died yet, and they're starting to get in the same positions they were in previously when they were able to take red and Cache so quickly. But they're in those positions. They haven't made anything happen yet. Aruni gates, they're still up. Players still in positions. That's starting to change now that CZ has found a pick onto Eddie, and it's also starting to change now that England is in position down below. Might start to make his play up red alongside the players inside of CCTV, but for now, Surf still has the Goyo shield and those ADSs once they're un-EMP'd. Instead, he'll start pushing on up, could find a kill on Afer, but no! He's cut down instead.
So it looks like both members on the defense playing that extension have been cut down, have been stopped from taking any terror, and they haven't lost their Thermite either. And Gasher, Thrasher has used both exothermic charges, though, in this roam clear, though. So, actually, I'm not sure. Maybe he did use it on Jacuzzi being C, but so far he has no exothermic charges left, and there's only one Selma charge for rethinking. So it looks like they may be gated into it. Yeah, so Jacuzzi is still closed. If they can destroy these shields, it should be not as difficult for them to make this push, because those shields last time they played so well to get around them. And really, I see this point with 50 seconds left, and they are the man advantage. Or at the moment, Aqualix could make this happen, but let's see what happens for these last two players, because they're still gunners, ready to take fights.
Talking about gunners, Kix right now is playing closely inside of Logistics. I believe that was a frag grenade that went down. I actually think that might have been a C4. I'm not entirely sure, but Kix is now rotated back into bedroom, gets shot about to 50 HP, rotates back on in. Will manage to find a kill onto Afer, but because there's presence on Metal Balk, he's now down. Butter's the only one left in a 1v4, manages to find one onto England, but there's players moving all around him. Rethinkin's able to clean him up. Aqualix. It's almost like they're the two-faced ones. They completely switched it up on us. Last week, a dominant 2-7 loss to one shot. Now a 7-4 against 2Faced this week. Connor may be right that he got it and he got in his prediction, but I mean, it's almost hard to predict how much of a comeback that was for Aqualix in between these 2 weeks.